It was a kind of Faustian pact. Robert Pattinson became a huge star in the Twilight vampire films in return for the kind of attention and intrusion that it seemed would never die.
Being followed is the only... because when you just feel trapped, I think anybody... But I mean, once you realise how to... It just takes time to realise how to live when your life kind of seismically shifts. Like, it just takes a while to like realise how to live it differently.
Does it involve disguise? We don't want to give too much away, obviously, but...
I mean, yeah, I mean, disguises in general don't particularly work. I mean, it's just where you choose to hang out, and it's also just an attitude. I've been like extraordinarily lucky. Generally, if you want to do a franchise now, you're locked into like an 8-movie deal when they can just choose to exercise their option whenever they want. And like with
by that you mean you can get a phone call, we need you on set?
Yeah,
or...
that's like could be 20 years of doing something. Whereas doing Twilight, had to be 17 the whole time, so I can't go on that long.
I'm gonna pull back up. Just don't say anything, all right?
You'll be lucky to find Pattinson in a blockbuster these days.
You do all the talking.
Fellas, where are we going? Can I talk to you for a minute? First of all, could you take your hoodie off for me?
Wait, what did we do wrong?
No,
hey, you with the black sweatshirt.
Yo, my man, turn around.
He's all right. We didn't do
Yo,
anything wrong.
get back here.
He says he sits indoors leafing through Variety and emailing directors he wants to work with, like the young Safdie brothers, who created this crime drama for him.
Smith, let's go!
It's someone who's an incredibly manic person. Someone who thinks the world is against him, and so he's constantly preparing for attack the whole time, and he's just in constant fight or flight mode, and just filled with adrenaline. The entire movie felt like you're having a panic attack. It was kind of my first introduction to the Safdie, the directors, the sibling directors. They'll place the characters of the movie in the context of the real world and just try and play out a scene when a lot of people aren't really aware that even a scene is going on. We were shooting in a Domino's pizza place, and people were just coming in and ordering. And we're stashing stolen money in the ceiling and stuff. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's kind of, you get very realistic reaction shots.
I tell you, a couple hours, right?
Yeah, you got the full 10? $10,000.
Yeah. Hey, you do credit, right?
Yeah. Amor, cógele
$10,000?
The quid pro quo for the directors is that they get a bona fide star whose name helps to sell the film. But his fame has its drawbacks.
It's for my brother, and you're gonna get it back the same day, right? Right?
Yeah, she'll get it back.
You'll get it back.
If one, like a paparazzi, for instance, finds out that you're shooting a movie, then they'll just follow you back to your house, and then they'll just come every single day and shoot it. And then once you have one photographer shooting, then the general public around are looking at the shoot, and then everyone starts recognizing it, and then it's impossible to shoot. It would have been impossible to shoot the movie that I wanted to shoot.
Nick, it's good. We should talk about this. This is good stuff we're talking about. Excuse me.
You Peter?
Yes, I am. We're in the middle of saying hello.
Nick, what are you doing?
Ben Safdie, one of the directors of Good Time, also appears in the film as the brother of Pattinson's character in a storyline concerning mental health.
They told me I had to do this.
Let's go. Let's go.
But he has all my stuff. Goes down all my stuff.
Shut up, then.
This is my work. This is my stuff, okay?
Oh, shame on you, Connie,
Shame on
brother.
me?
You're not helping.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
This pain that Connie feels just having to admit that his brother has any kind of issue whatsoever, I find that kind of fascinating. And I've kind of seen people in a similar situation when they have a sibling or a family member who has some kind of issue to deal with, and the family, just because they're related to them for whatever reason, can't really accept it and end up causing themselves and their sibling or family member a lot of pain and anguish because of their own ego in a lot of ways. And I thought I hadn't really seen that touched on in a lot of movies.
I assume you're offered big sort of multiplex movies, are you? Are you invited to wear lycra and have superpowers quite often?
I don't know. I don't think people really see me as that. I mean, I kind of never say never, obviously, but I generally don't notice the stuff that I'm offered. I think it's a kind of, I like having to sort of fight for things.
Did you once fancy being a script writer? Did you once have an interest in politics? Because we're all about that on Newsnight.
I used to love the idea of being being a writer for politicians. Yeah.
What happened to that idea? Still time, of course.
I think I maybe just like sort of bullshitting about it more, which is probably why I thought I wanted to get into politics. I just find it fascinating how like it's performance. So much of it is performance now, which is I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.